Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge. Manhattan District Attorney must testify in front of Jim Jordan and James Comer and House Republicans. Judge rejects DA's Alvin Bragg's emergency restraining order against Representative Jordan same day it was filed. This is an article in Just the News. Bragg sued Jordan to prevent him and other Republican lawmakers from impeding the district attorney's criminal case against Trump. This is a huge, devastating development for Democrats in New York. Now they're going to have to testify, not just the DA. It's not just the DA. It's everyone involved will have to testify before Congress under oath about if Democrats were involved in any of this. This is huge. Did Democrats push for the prosecution of their direct political rival? That's what Trump was impeached on. He was initially impeached for asking. Listen to this. He was asking another president of another country invaded under Biden's watch if Biden was a criminal, which obviously he's committed criminal acts with Hunter. It's pretty obvious if you read the Daily Mail, especially the New York Post reporting. New York Post should get Pulitzer Prize after Pulitzer Prize for that. But here, a judge has rejected Manhattan District Attorney's request for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction against Ohio Republican Representative Jim Jordan the same day it was filed. The court declines to enter the proposed temporary restraining order and order to show cause. U.S. District Judge, a Trump appointee, wrote Tuesday. Wow. The judge also said that Bragg did not provide several documents referenced in his requests. Bragg sued Jordan, the House Judiciary Committee chairman, to prevent him and other Republican lawmakers from impeding the district attorney's criminal case. Bragg called the House probe of his case brazen and unconstitutional. That's very constitutional. It's the state prosecutor. See, this is what it all comes down to. This is why you should hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm long-winded and I go on forever, but I will explain within a short time frame exactly what this is all about. The state assumed a federal crime that didn't exist. The state prosecutors stated that a federal crime, which wasn't listed within the indictment, existed to elevate 34 separate misdemeanors. They are so desperate to get Trump. They're so desperate to get him because there are felonies galore. They're like 1 million felonies. Okay. They can start a business, House of Felonies, Felonies Emporium, the Democrats. It's endless. With Hunter's emails and then the servers siphoning classified data. But with Trump, they can't find a crime, but they're so passionate. He's a criminal. He's a criminal. Trump is a criminal. Trump is a criminal. Well, where's the crime? He was indicted. Okay. He wasn't indicted on any of the major allegations, him being an operative of another country, him trying to foment a revolt against democracy, him trying to pressure Georgia. None of these things took place. Only in the minds of the morally superior among us. So the first district attorney didn't want to do anything. The federal guy, the DOJ couldn't find anything. The FEC fined Clinton and President Obama's campaign, and the DNC did not fine Trump. But Democrats were almost certainly involved in influencing Alvin Bragg and other Democrats, and that is against the law. They could be disbarred, indicted with a new DOJ, another DOJ in the future. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. If you want to give, and go to contactgoodman88 at gmail.com to become part of a newsletter. Ladies and gentlemen, Hit subscribe. The Patreon is below, and the Super Thanks is below also. Wow, this is huge. They're going to have to, and the Super Thanks also is below. They're going to have to testify before Congress. It's the federal government. The federal government did not go into, the federal government did not go into, the federal government did not go into the state government. This is a raw story. Alvin Bragg's request for temporary restraining order on Jim Jordan rejected. So, here's the thing. When you have a indictment, 34 felonies that are actually misdemeanors, where the state level crimes are elevated to felonies because of a federal crime that the federal government didn't even implement or level against Trump, you have a desperate, sad, pathetic, borderline criminal attempt at trying to silence an opposing candidate. This is not justice. This is an injustice, but that's the way. Look, when Twitter silenced not only Trump, but hundreds of thousands of conservative accounts, the only thing the morally superior, wonderful liberal Democrats on the left got from it was, Trump has a thin skin. Like, what? Well, Trump asked to silence Jimmy Kimmel or whatever it was. It was like, no. There were 200,000+ conservative accounts banned or suspended. Do you think there's a pattern here with government agencies actually working with Twitter to suspend conservatives? You think maybe there's a pattern here? It's like, it's just unbelievable. It's really just unbelievable. This whole thing is unbelievable. How the entire thing is unbelievable. How they can be caught in the act of blatant, not only hypocrisy, but of trying to go after the direct political rivals, silencing the direct political rivals, indicting a presidential candidate, a former president. Then they'll talk about how he breaks norms and traditions. All they've done from the Mueller probe until today was break norms and traditions. Now they're going to have to testify on any involvement within the Democratic Party. Pelosi worked with, almost certainly, Pelosi stated, you better believe Republicans would be involved if the tables were turned. She stated that in Politico, I believe. And so it's almost certain that there's Democratic Party involvement. Michael Avenatti, for example, was being funded or consulted or advised by a Hillary Clinton super PAC. Okay, so this is pretty unbelievable what's taking place. You have Stormy Daniels, her lawyer, running for president within the Democratic Party. And then she engages in extortion of Trump. And then, after years of denying the affair, then says the affair took place only when it was the moment right before 2016 where she could extract as much money as possible. It's called extortion, which Trump was the victim of. You can't just go and wait until the most opportune time to say, I'm going to ruin your brand, give me money. Or in this case, she wanted money right before November of 2016, or she would go public with an affair. That's called extortion. Okay, imagine if somebody did that to a Democrat, which probably endless opportunities, but that's still against the law. You better believe they would view that to be extortion. But the question is, well, who told Stormy? Who influenced Stormy? How did she just change her mind? Had nothing to do with the NDA, because even if the NDA expired or whatever, there was a decision to then extort the money. But then you have the issue of, well, how many Democrats, public relations executives, lawyers, how many people were involved that weren't part of city government? Okay? You better believe there's a whole lot of people swarming around that have nothing to do with Manhattan city government. and they have everything to do with the Democratic Party, and that's why Trump was indicted. It had nothing to do with the rule of law. We learned that from the Durham probe. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I'll be back in 1 hour.